Hello, everybody. Mark here at Gilbo Realty. Thank you so much for coming back for another show today. We're going to discuss transactional brokerages and a single agent, how you can get the best representation money can buy by using one of those two. And we'll go through each one. We'll show you the difference. And we'll go through what a real estate broker is, really, what our company would be. And we'll go through what the Villages is. But I'm also going to show you two houses in the Villages, two designer homes. Designer homes come down quite a bit, actually. They're actually priced pretty good. I'm going to show you a home up in Stone Creek, the new build up there. That's kind of comparable to the Durham model, the Villages, which I don't know if they have any new ones for sale at the moment. But it's at about the same price, but they're nice. Quartz countertops, very well made, pretty. It's in the phase 3 of their build up there in Stone Creek. So we'll take a look at that. But if you haven't been to our website, this is it. Villages, Florida. Buy a home, fast home search. You can search multiple different ways. Go to our map download. Download a map. You can search each individual village within the villages. Do you need a VLS agent? No, we can make offers on existing homes. Just let you know that. New build costs. If you're going to buy a new home, you have to look at the costs that you're going to have to, and the money you're going to have to throw in it. You got to remember that you're going onto a car lot. There's a difference between the base model and the limited model. And a lot of times, many buyers in the villages or anywhere will buy a home and put a ton of money into it to upgrade it to that limited model. So when you buy a home in the villages, unless it's a custom build, street of dreams type home where it's decked out, majority of the homes, you have to sink some bucks into it. That'll give you a general idea of what you have to sink into it. And the estimated cost, there's many different things that go into that. If you're looking to do a lifestyle visit, let me know. We'll give you up to $1,000 back of your lifestyle visit if you buy a home through us. Yes, if we go there, stay in the villages, spend $600, we'll be happy to give you your $600 back if you buy a home through us. All right, so this is a really good article by Sam Said. I think it's Said the third on their website. It's probably one of the best ones I've seen when it comes to interpreting single agent versus transactional broker. Florida itself considers everybody a transactional broker unless you sign an agreement otherwise. Okay. And there are really two forms. There's just a single agent and there's a transaction broker. A single agent is going to be much more dedicated to your cause. They're going to represent you only. Transactional broker can represent you, but it also can represent both sides. It could be a seller's rep and a buyer's rep as a transactional broker. But they have to treat everybody fairly as a transactional agent. That's what's different, is that the single agent is going to represent you only, whether you're a buyer or a seller. I can do a listing as a single agent. I'm just not going to take that buyer unless my seller agrees to it. They allow me to become a transactional broker to represent the buyer and the seller who I already represent. So let's look at what a single agent is. The duties of a single agent must be fully described and disclosed in writing. So let's see here. Dealing honestly and fairly, loyalty, confidentiality, obedience, and full disclosure. Remember these three here. Okay, it's interesting. Accounting for all funds, skill and care and diligence, presenting all offers in a timely manner, unless something else is in writing, disclosing all known facts that materially affect the value of the real residential property and are not readily available, such as, okay, that room in the back that you just added it on, but it hasn't been approved by codes, right? That's a fact. That's going to hurt the value of the property, especially if codes comes out and says, hey, you got to tear that down. It's not the code. That could affect the material value of a property. Disclosure of these duties must be made in writing, okay, before we enter the property as a realtor. Then you have what's called a transactional broker. Now remember, single agent is going to represent you directly. A transactional broker is defined as a broker who provides limited representation to a buyer, a seller, or both in a real estate transaction, but does not represent either in a fiduciary capacity or as a single agent, but does not represent either in a fiduciary capacity or as a single agent. In a real estate transaction using a transaction broker, the buyer or seller is not responsible for the acts of the licensee. Both parties give up their rights to the undivided loyalty of a licensee. This kind of limited representation allows a licensee to facilitate a real estate transaction by assisting both the buyer and the seller, providing, however, that the licensee should never work to represent one party to the detriment of the other party when acting as a transactional broker. You notice how they said providing, however, because they know that money can muddy the water. Whoever's paying you can muddy the water. So let's say that I'm a single agent. I list the home. I told my seller that I'm going to be a single agent, going to represent them only. Somebody's interested in the house, I will refer that client up to somebody else. They can write the offer and have their own representation. Or I can just tell them, go get your own agent. I represent the seller only. The only way I can really represent that buyer is if the seller agrees to allow me to become a transactional broker. But it has to be in writing. They have to approve it. Now, what I've done is I've taken confidentiality, obedience, and full disclosure from my seller off the table. Okay, so now as a transaction broker, my duties are dealing fairly and honestly, accounting for all funds, using skill, care, diligence in a transaction, disclosing all known material facts that may hurt the value of the property, presenting all offers and counteroffers in a timely manner, limited confidentiality, limited unless waived in writing by a party, any additional duties mutually agreed upon with the party. Those three important things are now gone. So, as a seller, why would I lose these three things with my agent, with my listing agent, for them to get both sides? Personally, I don't like it. I don't like my agents to get both sides. I don't like it. I mean, it's legal. It wasn't legal in New York State about 12, 15 years ago. They're like, well, full disclosure. That's great. But there's always this however line, providing however that the licensee should never work to represent one party to the detriment of the other party when acting as a transactional broker. Can you take yourself away from your client as a single agent, a listing, and now be independent? Because that seller was hoping that you would help them get the best deal. Now you're saying, look, I want to represent both sides. I got to pull back. I can't do some of these things now. Now I do not owe you loyalty, confidentiality, or obedience. But you know, the funniest thing is when I signed that contract as a single agent, I was giving you confidentiality, obedience, and loyalty. Does that stuff still apply if you told me some special things about the house? I would assume yes. So let's talk about the villages. What are the villages? Are they single agents or transactional agents? Transactional broker. The Villages is a transactional broker. I've gotten some comments, a video I made a little while ago about people saying we're transactional brokers. You tell people we're transactional brokers. Yes, the Villages are a transactional broker. The difference is the Villages really is a closed system. For instance, MLSs can be closed systems too. For instance, down in Miami, I don't have the MLS access to Miami, but I can call. The difference is I can call an MLS agent in Miami and say, hey, can I see your property? Give me a 1-day code or meet me there or give me the code to the property. And they're happy to show it to us. Villages is a little bit different. They're a closed system. They don't want to work with realtors at all, period, if they didn't have to. But they are a transactional broker if I base it on this list that we've already covered multiple times on this page. And I'll post this link to this article down below. But what you have to decide as a buyer coming into the state of Florida is how do I want to be represented, right? Because the villages are going to represent both sides of the transaction. You can probably get your own village agent to represent you in a transaction, but it's the same broker. That's the issue that I have personally. It's the same broker, same sales team. They go to the same Christmas party. They do all that stuff, okay? Where, for instance, I can have a transaction with Century 21, right? Or Remax or Keller Williams, and they're two different parties. We're going to represent our clients in two different ways, the best we possibly can, and negotiate on their behalf. The villages, even though they're transactional brokers, they're always going to be that. They're never going to be a single agent because it's one broker. It's one broker only. So that's kind of what you're dealing with. So you have to decide as a buyer, if I'm looking to buy in the villages, if I buy from the villages, you're going to be dealing underneath this transactional broker, which does not have loyalty, confidentiality, or obedience. If you buy from an MLS agent, you will have those three. And trust me, sometimes those are worth their weight in gold to have someone just strictly act on your behalf. A lot of people think that you can go into a listing agent and get a better deal. It's not the case. It's not the case at all. Rarely does that happen. You always want your own representation. And just keep in mind, if you go buy a home through the villages, you're going to be a transactional broker. That's what they're going to be. They're going to be these things right here listed on this page. And I'll put this link down below so you can take a look. But if you go into Florida and you want the best loyalty, confidentiality, and obedience, you need to sign that single agent agreement because then that agent is strictly going to act on your behalf. Okay. And just remember, real quick, this little line, providing, however, that the licensee should never work to represent one party to the detriment of the other party when acting as a transaction broker to both parties. Just make sure whoever you're dealing with is acting just like that. 1768 Scranton Terrace. It's a nice home. Designer. 3 beds, 2 bath, 1,927 square foot. Beautiful driveway. See the design in it. It's pretty. Love it. Enclosed lanai, by the way, in the back. It's a pretty house. Price right, too. Sitting at 256 square foot. A ton of open houses every day of the week. Wow. It's been on the market only 5 days. Taxes were $5,600. The annual recurring fees, that amenity fee times 12. Okay. New roof in 2022, HVAC in 22, hot water heater in 22. Plantation shutters. Those are not cheap, folks. Crown molding, all new gutters, glass enclosed lanai, partial furniture package included. 2022 Yamaha golf cart sold separately. Yamaha's a great golf cart, great engines, right? So let's see where it's located. I think we're on the eastern portion of Morse Boulevard. There we are. Between the sixes, but on the eastern portion over here. It's beautiful. Let's look at some photos. It's a pretty house from the street. Landscaping's cute. Well done. Love it. Pretty palm right here. Too bad we didn't see a better pic. Maybe we will. There you go. It's pretty, ain't it? It's beautiful palms. That's what you get in the older sections. It's hard to get in the newer ones because it's going to take them 20 years to get here. You just get this landscaping. The beautiful trees that are popping. Look at all the palms behind it. It's beautiful. Enclosed lanai. That wasn't cheap, folks. Was not cheap. Nice pad out back for the grill. Hang out. Got a bunch of privacy shrub back here. Very nice. Got a fence behind you too, by the way. That's cool. Very nice. Nice little front entryway. It's pretty. Very nice. Okay, so here's the front entry. I assume that walks into the kitchen based on I'm looking at a cabinet. There's a room on the left. A lot of people like these pillars. Just add some style. Love the crown molding all the way around. It's beautiful. Very nice. Vinyl plank flooring. Very pretty. Very pretty. Very nice. Love it. Dark cabinets, lighter countertops. Here's a little dining area. A little different flooring, I think. Oh, no, same flooring. So you got this vinyl plank down here. It's nice. They have some new stuff. Vinyl plank is a lot wider than this. About another 2 inches wider. It's nice. So here's this enclosed lanai walking out to it. Pretty countertops. Nice little eating area up front. Love it. Love the fact that it takes this table out of the family room. Very pretty. Bunch of plugs. Phone outlet. Nice. Gas stove, by the way, in case anybody's wanting gas. That's it. Let's see if we can get out of here. Okay, so we're in the master with the carpet. A little rough. Gonna have to be replaced at some point. I love the shutters. Are beautiful. Very nice. Very pretty. So I like this model because it's got that dual closet, his and hers. And you walk into this tile floor. It's pretty. There you go. Very nice. Pocket door toilet. I love this bathroom. I love this layout. I like having the sink separated too. It's pretty. There's that walk-in shower. There you go. With a window. Look at that. Love it. Pretty. Here's another room. Here's that closet. Got some access. So pretty good sized closet. There you go. Crown molding in here too, folks. Is there a closet in this room? So this is a flex room, I'm assuming. No closet. Here's a bathroom off it. This goes into another room over here, unless that was the room we were just in. Full bath. It's cute. Okay. So this one has a closet. That front room does not have a closet. So I assume they would just consider that like a flex room. No closet. Okay. So this probably leads to the garage appliance. I don't see any washer dryer, so I assume you're gonna have to buy your own if you consider this one. Got a fridge out here though. I'd probably move that to the garage if you can. Dual fans. I like this out here. It's pretty. There you go. Love the floor. Panel box over here. There's that golf cart that you can buy if you want it. Yamaha, it's nice. I like this house. It's cute. These designers have come down on price a little bit. Yeah, it's nice. Love the landscaping. Love the fact you have a fence behind it. Love the enclosed lanai. The front room there, I'm kind of surprised there's no closet there. Consider that an office or flex room. So 1768 Scranton Terrace, $495. 3-bed, 2-bath, 1927. I'm not sure if that 3-bed includes that flex room up front. It probably shouldn't. Probably should say 2-bed if that's the case. I'm not sure. But sitting at 2007 build, 256 a square foot. Take a look at this one. Okay, so here's one at Stone Creek in Webb. It's a brand new home. Must be stage 3 of their builds. Corner lot, by the way, looking at it. 2-bed, 2-bath, 1,471 square foot. Now, Durham models of the Villages are about this price, a little bit lower, tad lower. But they don't come with the granite countertops or the quartz countertops. This is a pretty house, and it's not. This is a corner lot too, so it's probably a little bit more money for the lot. But if you look here, 2-bed, 2-bath, 1,471 square foot, bigger than their Charlotte Model 2 in the Villages, sitting at 226 a square foot. Pretty house. Webb Stone Creek, sitting at 226 a square foot. So let's see where it's located here. Here's the Villages. There it is over there. All right, pretty house. Again, this is a corner lot. There you go. Nice flooring. Got an actual light up there. Look at that. Nice big windows. Love the countertops, the marble. Bunch of storage space. They have a stove and a dishwasher, but I don't see the fridge. So you're probably going to have to buy a fridge here. Love the white cabinets. There you go. It's cute. And we'll see some pictures of what they have in this community right after this. There's a bed with carpet. There's a lanai out back, as you can see. Oh, try to twitch my finger. Okay, so here's the master bath. Dual sinks, walk-in shower, nice. Big closet. Here's another room, I'm assuming. Nice. Shared bath and hallway. Washer dryer, 30 amp plug. Probably 20 amp, but it's probably 30 now. There's that. Nice lanai here in the back off the kitchen. Kind of like to say, let's see what we have. This, the Stone Creek has got some beautiful thing. There's a beautiful pool. Kind of reminds me of a resort pool. It's beautiful. With palms and decor all around. Kind of reminds me of going to Aruba. You got those beautiful pools with all this stuff around it. That's kind of pretty, right? There you go. Some tennis and pickleball, maybe. Nice. They had a bunch of stuff. Basketball courts over here. I assume you can come here and have a party on it here or cook out. Here's their workout room. Nice. Indoor pool. Look at that. Heated indoor. Wow. Very pretty. There's a sauna. Yeah, they took those off another one. But here's another big area with a bar area up here. So they probably have places where you can rent, have a party, do some things with family if they're in town. Nice billiards place. Nice. Love it. So you're looking at 5915 Southwest 87th Avenue in Ocala. 2-bed, 2-bath, 1,471 square foot. It's a pretty house sitting at 332.8. It's open Sunday from 12 to 5. It's sitting at 226 a square foot. And the HOA fee is $390 a month, which equates to $46.86 a year. Built in 2025, is ready to go. Owner suite is near the rear of the home, which has a bunch of privacy on it. It's pretty. I love the countertops in the kitchen. It's actually a nice house. I love it. So when you come to the Villages or when you come to the state of Florida, just understand between a single agent and a transactional broker, agents in Florida are considered transactional brokers unless you sign an agreement as a single agent. Either way, you have to sign a buyer's agreement. Either way, it doesn't matter whether you're going to sign with the Villages to buy a house or whether you sign with us or with any other broker in the state. I think you're much better being represented by a single agent who's going to have your interest 100% on their side. If you're looking to buy a home and you're going to go directly to a listing agent, that listing agent is probably going to be a transactional broker. And what don't they provide? Loyalty, confidentiality, or obedience. That's interesting. Those are three important things that you got to have before you buy a house. So everybody have a good day. If you have any questions, call me. Feel free to go to our website, the Villages tab, and look for our house in multiple different ways. And everybody have a good day.